Good morning, this is Deepak. How are you? I've just finished my yoga lesson and I thought today I would share with you the supreme knowledge as shared by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know how many people are familiar with the metaphorical story of the great war of Kurukshetra in ancient times between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. So we are on the battlefield, Kurukshetra, and the battle is between, as I said, the forces of light and darkness. And so Krishna, who is the embodiment of the supreme non-local reality, the supreme Godhead, he is the charioteer of Arjuna, the greatest warrior. He's the equivalent of the greatest warriors in every tradition, from Achilles to, you name it, Atlas in the Greek traditions. So as they are on the battlefield and Arjuna, the great warrior, looks across the battlefield, he actually sees that all his enemies are, in a sense, his own brothers, his own cousins. And he has a panic attack and he says, how can I kill and vanquish my own enemies as they are myself in a way, because they are my relatives, they are my kith and kin, they are the same as me in a sense. And Krishna says, that's correct, but you must vanquish your demons because all your enemies are your own demons. And he then says, I will teach you how to do it, and I'll teach you how to do it through the science of yoga. And so he begins the teaching. And the teaching is all about how to get in touch with the self, the fundamental egoless ground of your own being that is also the ground of all being, and therefore the self of the universe. The self of the individual is the self of the entire universe, because it is the egoless ground of all being. When you recognize that, then you realize that everything that you're seeing, everything that you're perceiving, everything that you're thinking, this is a projection of the self, but usually through the conditioned mind. You also see that the true self was never born and therefore is never subject to death. You also recognize at the deepest level everything in existence is totally egoless. And at the heart of existence, not only is everything egoless, the heart of existence is neither perceivable nor imaginable because it is formless, non-local being. It is nothing perceivable and imaginable, but without it there is no reality, because everything that we perceive and imagine comes out of this formless being. God, the infinite spirit, pure consciousness, anything you want to call it, Yahweh, the words are not important. The reality is that at the heart of all existence is being, the being of the universe, the being that you are experiencing right now as your mind, your body, and the universe. At this moment, your mind, your body, and the universe is spontaneously and creatively arising from the infinite being or self. Right now. In any case, Krishna says to Arjuna, let me show you or teach you how you can get in touch with your own being, and that is the practice of yoga. So I'm going to read to you some words that are basically my own translations after having read many translations, modified them a little bit so that they were more contemporary in language. So here's what Krishna says: he or she who knows me meaning the me within you, the me within you, the me within everything. He or she who knows me, the unborn and without beginning, and as the supreme intelligence of the universe, he or she is not deluded, remains undeluded amongst mortal beings, and is liberated from ignorance. Discernment, wisdom, non-delusion, forgiveness, truth, impeccable use of the senses and of the mind, joy, sorrow, evolution, dissolution, fear and fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, contentment, austerity, charity, fame, even disrepute. These diverse feelings of creatures emanate from me, the infinite being within all of us. The great sages, the progenitors of humankind, and all of the creatures of the world are born through the intention and the will of being. He who knows in reality the supreme glory of the innumerable manifestations of being is ultimately united with being by unfaltering yoga. Of this there is no doubt. I am the origin of all. From me all these universes proceed. With your mind fixed on the primeval spirit in all, with your life surrendered to this primeval spirit in all, enlightening one another about each of ours divine essence with love, the wise take delight and are happy. Out of compassion for all beings, I, dwelling in their inner hearts, dispel the darkness born of ignorance by shining the lamp of wisdom. I, the supreme I, the one I, the I beyond the ego, is the supreme Brahman, the supreme abode, the purifier, the eternal, the primeval deity, the divine person, the unborn and all-pervading. I am the self, seated in the heart of all beings, so I am the beginning and the middle and also the end of all beings. Of the sources of light, I am the stars and the sun. I am the energy in the wind and the storms. I am the wetness in the waters and the rain. I am the sounds of the mantra and the sounds of creation. Of all the senses, I am the mind, and amongst living beings, I am consciousness. I am the gods of destruction. I am the demons. I am the Lord of riches. I am the elements of creation, and I am the fire of transformation. I am the priest of priests. I am the sage of sages. I am the general of generals. Of the seats of water, I am the ocean. I am the rishi of the rishis. Of sacred utterances, I am the monosyllable Om, the sacred mantra. I am the sacrifice of sacrifices. I am the Himalayas amongst mountains. I am the sacred trees. I am the music of the spheres. I am the celestial musician. I am the wind. I am the thunderbolt and lightning. I am the divine warrior. I am all the fishes and the alligators and the sea animals. I am also the rivers of all created things. I am the beginning, the end, and also the middle. By the way, I doesn't refer to the ego self. I refers to the one self that is at the heart and soul of all egos. Of the sciences, I am the science of the self. Of those who debate, I am the logic. Of letters, I am the letter A. Of compounds, I am the dual compound. I am verily the endless time. I am the sustainer of all, having my face on all sides. I am the all-destroying death, as also the origin of future beings. Of the feminine qualities, note the feminine qualities. Of the feminine qualities, I am fame, prosperity, speech, memory, intelligence, firmness, and patience. Yes, somebody said Alpha and Omega, correct. I am all the hymns, all the measurements, and all the seasons. In those practicing fraud, I am the gambling. I am the glory of glories. I am the victory of the victorious. I am the resolution of the resolute. I am the goodness of the good-hearted. I am the controlling power of all controllers. I am the wisdom of the wise, and of secrets I am silence. I am the seed of all beings, for there is no creature, animate or inanimate, which exists without me. There is no end to my divine manifestations. Whatever being is endowed with glory, brilliance, and power, know that to be the manifestation of a spark of my splendor. I stand holding these universes by a single fragment of myself. So, mind, body, universe, they're all manifestations of a single consciousness, which is exactly the direct translation of I am that I am. Or when Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. In my being you may behold the sun and the stars and the galaxies. The universe exists in our being. You may behold many wonders you have never seen before. You may behold the gods of elements, the gods of destruction, divine healers and physicians, the wind gods, and various classes of celestial beings. All these are differentiated aspects of the one being, different states of the one awareness. These different manifestations of my being you're not able to see with physical eyes. You must open the eyes of the subtle body, and beyond that, the eyes of the soul. So, this is the way the Lord of Yoga revealed the Supreme Self to Arjuna. Arjuna saw the Lord of the universe, infinite in form on all sides, infinite manifestations. He saw the Supreme Being with infinite brilliance and radiance, creating and at the same time burning the entire universe and many universes. And so began the teaching of yoga. And so the question is being asked, who or what is the self? Who or what is the self is the center point of all experience. in which all experience manifests, occurs, is known, and ultimately disappears. It's the unborn that is not subject to death, and it is the I in me, the I in you, and all creatures and all beings that feel the sense of being I. Yoga is that knowledge that helps us get in touch with this Supreme Being that is I. Tina North Shepherd says, what book are you reading from, please? I'm reading from a translation that I did myself after having read many translations of the Bhagavad Gita. So I'll end with just one or two last couplets, and then we can continue this in the future. He or she who has no ill will to any being, who is friendly and compassionate, who is free from ego and attachment, who is even-minded in pain and pleasure, and who is forgiving. I'll repeat that. He or she who has no ill will to any beings, who is friendly and compassionate, who is free from ego and attachment, who is even-minded in pain and in pleasure, and who is forgiving, that yogi who is ever content, steady in meditation, of firm resolve and full of love, such a yogi is a true yogi. Such a yogi knows that the self within each of us is the self of the universe. Okay, so more later, because this is really supreme knowledge of the self, and we must take it in slowly, each sip very mindfully, and each sip to be savored, because each sip is the nectar of pure knowledge. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.